Hello, welcome to the video of the custom accounting software for your company. I'm going to open up the software file right on my computer and just log in so we can get straight to it. Um, this is going to show all that we discussed and how to, you know, work on the software uh, in a little bit right now. So first and foremost, you're already used to this. I'm just gonna log in again, right? And then once I log in, I'll bring up the software interface and then we can get straight to it. I'll try as much as possible to make this precise. The agreement is there, and then you watch it and then you make the balance. I'm gonna send the software file to you. So it's complete. At this point, I'm just going to go through a couple of things, the major things we talked about, and then you see how it works. So I'm just going to drag that onto the screen that is recording right now because the software is pretty much here as you are used to. So this is your landing page. This is where it opens up to your startup page, which, you know, otherwise you're familiar with because you have the simple one. So first and foremost, you remember we talked about daily FX rates. So here is where you add your daily FX rates. You put your date here and you can just keep going all the way. I've put this in just for the sake of testing. So again, you can continue. It doesn't matter whatever order it is. You can continue to just put it, October, November, all the way every day. And same thing for euro, right? You'll realize that this was from the most recent dates to the uh to the oldest date, but it doesn't matter because the system knows how to tie back or just pick the rate for the day. Okay. So these are just examples. You can pretty much just clean them out once you get the software file, or probably I'll just leave one in there or clean everything out when you get the clean version. So that's it. This is how you do it. This is for USD, this is for Euro. It is pretty straightforward on that one. Now, we also talked about the invoice. So we've pretty much redesigned the invoice to look exactly like the one you sent. So uh you can pretty much play around with it and use this as you like. So this is also here on the invoice. Now let's go straight to where all the fun stuff happens. So let's go to your sales, where you record your sales, right? We talked about, some invoices or some uh sales being in USD, and some being in Naira and some being Naira and probably USD or whichever way. So if you look right here, it's pretty much some of what you're familiar with, the date, the month. We have the customer name, phone number, all of that. Currency, very important. If you decide not to put all of this in, that's fine, but the currency is very important. The invoice number this year is automated, then, the products or services. Now, you don't have to put this in. You could just call it contract one, or technically just you can decide to just again repeat the invoice number if that's what you want to use to uh identify that invoice, or you can just name it whatever you want. I just threw this in there just for testing purposes. Now, in this instance, you'll see that most of the time, just keep your quantity as one because it's not going to change, because this basically is the total amount on the invoice that you've charged. So in this situation, we're saying, look, this is in USD and we've put 50,000 US dollars there. Automatically, the currency rate gets automated. So let's throw in another example. Let's say this is September 13 right here. Let's say, we have show, for example. Let's say this is in US dollars. And then obviously we have one here. So um let's say it's for 60,000 USD, just for the sakes of it. Now, you can see that there's no foreign currency rate here. the reason is it's prompting you to say, look, you're picking September 13, but if you go to the daily FX rates, there's no September 13, right? You can see there's no September 13. So let's say we add September 13, right? And we just put in a rate. I just want to use this as example. Let's say we just put 1,600. And then you go back to your sales, it will pop up. Sorry, did I put 16,000? Oh, my bad. So, yeah. So let's put 1,600 and then you go to your sales. It comes up automatically for that date. It calculates the Naira equivalent. And in this instance, let's just say it is a credit sale. That means they're not paying you right now. They're going to pay in the future. So we make this no, and that's that. Now, you get the total value of the contract first in US dollars. Then again, if you're charging VAT on the goods, basically you come here, you click on yes, that pops up, it's calculating on 7.5%. If you have NCD source deduction, it's calculating on 1%. Now, if this is not correct, you can manually change that or pretty much just do a manual calculation here and take this off, right? So you have a placeholder to do whatever manual calculations you want. Now, main contractor markup, if that exists, you click on yes, and then it calculates that. Then VAT on contractor markup as well. If you click yes, but if you click no, it's not going to do any calculations. But if you click yes, that pops up, right? Then you have your total amount charged to customer at this point. Then if there's a withholding tax, you can I've put a drop down for different rates. So let's say it's 3%, for example, and then that gets applied, and that's that. Now, when you remit to the government, if you want, if there's any remittance of VAT, you can click remitted, and that gets automatically uh, cleaned off of your VAT payable. Now, that's pretty much how that looks, right? If you get another example, let's say September 14th, and then I say it's Chevron, and it's just Naira. Now, it just recognizes this Naira as one to one. So let's say that contract is 15 million, right? So as straightforward as that, it's in Naira. Is it a cash sale? Yes. If it is not, you claim no. And this just goes all the way once you click yes, yes, yes. So this is just a pretty straightforward Naira contract, right? Now, again, withholding tax rates, you can decide, or whatever the rate is, and you can click on the percentage as we discussed. Now, for your receivables and tracking the receivables, we've done it in twofold. So your receivable agent, these two examples that I just dropped, you can see that the shell version that we did has the amount owed in Nigerian amount and the USD amount owed, right? So let's assume that the first payment was made on September 17th, right? And then uh, payment was made and it was so like we were saying, let's say this got a 10,000 payment dollars. You have to put the 10,000, the currency, right? And then the rate updates and the Nigerian equivalent. Now, this calculates your FX gain or loss automatically. If it is positive, it is a gain. If it is negative, then it's a loss, right? Now, this is in September, it's calculated that. Now, let's come here again and say, look, second payment September 18th, and then they also paid, let's say they paid the rest. I'm just saying 50,000. Now you click on your US dollar, right? Yeah. And then that updates, and straight away you are seeing your FX gain as well. Now, when you scroll to the end, there's a couple of things you're gonna see. Um, what is outstanding for that uh, contract? When you scroll to the end, you see that you have no outstanding because it's fully paid, right? So that is sorted, and anytime you refresh, you can see uh, number of days, debt outstanding by and the total outstanding. Now, the same thing here, right? Your green means it's less than 15 days, your orange is greater than 15, and once it's greater than 30 days, it becomes red. Now, of course, you have some yellow, which will be technically saying, look, um, I'm also getting towards past the 15, I'm getting or in the borderline of 15, right? So anyways, that's that. Then once you have that, your foreign exchange gains or losses have been automated that they show up on your income statement automatically. So this is the line for your foreign exchange gains or losses. So it just shows up automatically. You don't have to bother about it. It calculates itself automatically. Now, for the rest of the invoice, that is the withholding taxes, VAT, all the other charges, we have another receivable aging for other charges, right? In this one, again, the customer shows up, the name, the date of the transaction, then the amount owed for all of those deductions. Value added tax, withholding taxes, NCD deduction, and all of that. So this is where you deal with that. The reason I've separated this is so that you don't mix up what the contract value is and what all the other charges are. And this is strictly going to be in Naira because you don't calculate all those VAT and all of that, I believe. You don't calculate that in US dollars. So again, I've just created this hopefully it's convenient the way you want it, so that you can just deal with all the others here. Uh, so the main portion of the contract, the main amount that you're charging, you can track in the receivable agent and all the other charges, which are these guys on the sales here, total other charges, VAT, NCD, contractor markup, all of those uh, are all in the receivable agent, other charges, and the invoice number you can use to track those. Okay. So that being said, there won't be any effects on this. Please remember, because it's all Naira, right? Now, let's now go to your income statement. Oh, wait. First, let's talk about your expenses. So on your expenses, you have something called your expenses category. So for this one, you can update all of this. You can change any of this, like bags. You don't have to, can change that miscellaneous bank charges to whatever you have. And once you change this, it gets updated on the income statement, right? The income statement is a long form. If you want to see the long form, you click on two. It shows you all of that. But if you want to see the short form, just click on one and it minimizes it, okay? Then let's go back to the expenses. So in this instance, you have your date. These two are automated. What is it paid for? Then if this is, you put the amount, if this is USD, euro, whatever it is, put it in. But make sure um you click on the currency that you want here. So again, so let's just quickly do an example. Let's say in August, let's say August 20, we paid, I don't know, let's say Shell, we paid them $10,000, right? And we put USD, and then the rate pops up automatically if we say the manufacturing company, and then we want to take out whatever withholding tax amount. Now, the withholding tax amount, so the withholding tax amount will automatically calculate, right? So if you say yes, then you click on this. If you click on that, it changes, right? And so on and so forth, right? So then you have your total minus the withholding taxes, and you have your total in Naira, and then total minus the withholding taxes. So definitely When you look at your income statement, for example, and then you open the long form, you see that under other expenses, or if you scroll down, it's going to show other expenses until you give it a category. So let's say one of the categories, maybe let's say, what did you use it for? Um, mm, let's say it's professional fees, for example, and we call it professional fees. Once you click on that and you go to the income statement, it now shows up in professional fees, right? So that's that. So again, you know, you can update this and then it will get updated on the income statement. One other thing that you need to know is that if you move to a different year, or you have data for past years, you can toggle between the year. I've built this in there for you. So if you click on 2025, it toggles and it moves to 2025, and you can see it's only depreciation it is showing, because depreciation, uh, you know, on the straight line for the assets that we've used keeps going, right? So that is that. Okay, then once you toggle back to the 2024, you'll see all the examples that we have put in. Okay. All right. So having said that, I think those are the major things that we talked about. Also, do not forget here, if you want to put in like salary for someone, and if you put, if for example, you put 2023 and you say this person earns, uh, monthly 500,000, for example, right? Um, and then you go back to the income statement and you go to 2023, you can see it in salaries. So it's showing up in salaries, right? And if you toggle to 2024, because you've not put any salaries in, you won't see any salaries. Okay. So that is that. All the other functions, I think you're probably aware of, and the videos to how they work are here. So you're pretty much familiar with this. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Uh, it might take a little bit getting used to, but it's pretty straightforward. The drop down buttons will really help you to get going. So that's that for now. Hopefully, I've not been talking for the last 25 minutes, but I hope that would be helpful. Anyways, talk to you pretty soon, and thanks. Bye.